Y'all, I do not know what I would do without these things. Really my business would be lost without them. So I'm so excited to share them with you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is MOGIBETH, and for those of y'all who are new here, I own a six-figure reselling business selling women's clothing on places like Poshmark and eBay. But I didn't start as a six-figure business. I started like almost anyone, selling clothing out of my closet, and have gone on an over 4-year journey to get to where I am. And along the way, I've tried out a lot of equipment, a lot of tools, and I've really found my favorite ones that I can't live without in my reselling business. You know, I started just selling clothes from my closet, and then I now have employees in an office and have spent money on equipment. And so I feel like I have a good understanding of what's most important and what's least important and what's worth investing your money in, especially if your goal is to grow and to systematize. But of course, the beautiful thing about reselling is that you really don't need much equipment at all in order to get started. All you really need is a phone or a camera and a computer, a printer, a way to print out your shipping labels, and then something to ship your items in, and then of course inventory to sell. And that's really it. You can really make good money with just those things alone. But if you want to maximize efficiency and really increase productivity within your business, then I think these tools, supplies, products, and services are really going to help you out along the way. So in today's video, I'm going to discuss 12 items that we use in our reselling business on a day-to-day basis. And I've actually listed them in order of use. So starting from when you purchase the clothes or you have the clothes and you want to process them, steam them, photograph them, ship them, and so on. So we'll go in that order, but a full disclaimer, I'm gonna link everything I mentioned down in the description below. The description is gonna be a really big resource in this video, but full disclaimer, a lot of these are affiliate links, which means if you click on them, it won't cost you anything, but I will get a small kickback. And that's a really big way in which you can support this channel. So if you do choose to buy anything with these affiliate links, thank you in advance. And if you ever want to just refer to something that I've mentioned here and you don't want to go to the description and go into YouTube, you can always just Google Amazon MOGIBETH, and the first link that appears is actually going to be a list of my favorites, and everything that I mentioned in this video will be there as well. So that is also an affiliate link and will also help support this channel. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing on this list, and something that probably the first thing I would recommend investing in, at least the first thing I think I invested in, is a clothing rack. We have 2 of these clothing racks in the office. We use them every single day and they are amazing. But actually when I first started reselling, I went to Walmart and I bought a really flimsy clothing rack that they had that was, you know, the cheapest one they had there. And I immediately regretted it because I couldn't even push it. The wheels weren't working and it was tilting side to side. So I've said this before on my channel, I would highly recommend investing in one of these really good clothing racks that I have linked below that you can get from Amazon. They are really sturdy. The wheels aren't those little office chair wheels like I'll show here that a lot of them have. They're really well constructed wheels that can move things easily, and if you have a bunch of clothes on a rack, it's really important. And they have retractable sides, which I think is really important for steaming. Clothing racks such as this one, I really just use for aesthetic purposes because it's awful for steaming. This is from IKEA. I recommend for your business having one like what we have in the office, which is from Amazon and linked below. At the time of filming this, these racks cost $52, which sounds like a big investment, and I'm not saying it's not. I mean, it makes the $20 ones sound much more attractive, but I really think that in the long run, you're going to be much more happier going with this sturdy long-term option for just $32 more. I bought mine a long time ago and it's gonna last you a really long time. They break down easy and they're easy to assemble. So I highly recommend these clothing racks. As soon as we process our inventory, our clothing, we hang them up on those clothing racks and then we steam them. And that leads me to my next favorite product on this list, and that is a Jiffy Steamer. A Jiffy Steamer is probably the most expensive item on this list, but it's a piece of equipment that virtually everyone uses in the clothing industry. It's not just me saying this. I mean, Jiffy Steamers are the very best steamers that you can buy on the market. They're professional grade and they're really well constructed, made in America, and they come with a 3-year warranty. They're just a really great product. And we use the J2000 on a daily basis. It does the job really well, and the water tank is big enough to steam 30 to 40 items at a time, which makes a huge difference. At the time of filming this steamer costs a little under $200. We have the gray one with a plastic head, and there you can upgrade. You can get a metal head for a little bit more, or there's also pink ones if you're interested in that. But before we move on to the next item, I wanted to mention a couple accessories that if you are thinking about purchasing the Jiffy Steamer, you might want to add on, because there are also things that are necessary alongside the Jiffy Steamer, at least in our experience. And the first are these gloves, and I'll show a picture here, that I require all my employees to wear while steaming because it protects your hands from getting burned, because these steamers are professional grade, they put out heat, and these gloves do a really good job. They have little grips on them that help you grab the fabric easier, which is great. And then the other accessory or just item that you might want to buy along with it is the Jiffy Steamer cleaner. This is important, especially if you're going to use tap water, because it will help clean up any water scale buildup, which does happen because, you know, our water, especially important, our water is hard. And so I want to maintain my expensive steamer, my beautiful beloved steamer, and so I clean it on a regular basis, and I would recommend that as well. One more thing about steamers before we move on, I actually own another Jiffy Steamer. This is their little handheld steamer, and it's really small, petite, and compact, so I just keep this one at home. The other one is at the office, and I use this on all of the thrift hauls. I use this on my own personal wardrobe, and I always take this traveling with me, which is so great and convenient. I wouldn't recommend this if you're planning on processing, you know, more than 5 to 7 items at a time, because obviously the water tank is really small. I just really love this because I can take it with me wherever I go, and I really like having wrinkle-free clothing. And then I also can just have it, you know, as a versatile usage in my business as well. So I just want to recommend that, and this will be linked down below as well. And I've used other handheld steamers, but this one has been, to me, the best ones that I've ever used. So it's also a Jiffy product and made in America and all that jazz, so wanted to mention it. Okay, so after we steam, we take photos, and I think the most important piece of equipment that we use during this step of the process is our lighting kit. And for the longest time, we have used these box lights that I think do a really good job at dispersing soft light evenly amongst the item, which is great because then I can trust that my items aren't going to become overexposed, which I've had that problem with other lighting kits in the past. But we actually just ordered these LED lights that we're going to experiment with and see how we like. These might be good for flat lays, but I'm actually on the screen going to put up a side-by-side photo. The first one I'll put up is a photo of an item with the box lights, and these are unedited, and then the second is with the LED lights, and I'll let y'all make a decision for yourself, and I'll link them down below. But the box lights have been there for me for a long time, so I really like them, and we're just experimenting with these LED lights now, so I thought I'd go ahead and mention it. What I wouldn't recommend is umbrella lights. I've had umbrella lights before, and they just aren't what you want for fashion photography. I think they're much better for photographing people, but in my experience, I would safely recommend the box lights, and then, you know, LED lights or something that might be a good solution as well. And then in terms of a camera, we actually do use a camera, a DSLR camera in the office, but really I've used my phone for so long, and I would just really recommend doing that, especially if you're still just by yourself. The reason I had to upgrade to a camera is because I couldn't have my employees use their phone. I had to provide them with equipment to use in the office. And so we had a DSLR camera that I was using for YouTube, and I'll link down all the cameras I use below just in case you're curious, but really I don't think it's necessary in order to have a successful reselling business. I think you can really just easily, especially if you're just by yourself, use your phone. It's easy. Okay, so after we photograph everything, and then we move it over into inventorying it. And this little device is something that I love using while we inventory, and that is a folding mat. If you've watched my inventorying video, which I'll link up on the screen, you've seen me use this before. That video is really good if you have any questions about how I inventory my clothing and my shoes. I love this thing. I've had it forever, and it's really just important for me in making sure everything is professionally packaged and everything is professionally folded. And it only costs 17 bucks. So I've had it for years, it's lasted forever, and it's definitely been worth the investment. We've received a lot of love notes about how professionally packaged our items are. So I think that $17 has definitely paid off. Okay, so after we inventory our items, we list them, and then we want to sell them and hopefully sell them as quickly as possible. In my course, I actually have a whole module about sales generation strategies that I think is really helpful. But another way to get your items to sell as quickly as possible is to automate your sales generation strategy. And I don't want to beat a dead horse here because I've already talked about automation in this video, the $200,000 video that I will link up on the screen, and I've talked about it in my newsletter several times. But having an automation service in your Poshmark business is a massive game changer, and so I think it's worth mentioning once more again. And the automation service that I would currently recommend using is Posher VA. It automatically shares your closet, it deals with all the captchas for you, and you can schedule out your sharing. So you can just tell it, I want to share at 9, 12, 3, 5, and literally give them the exact time that you want to share it in. And you can specify what order you want to share your closet in as well. Plus, you can not only automate your sharing, but you can automate your offers to likers. And you can customize your offers to likers shipping discount format conditionally, which means you can tell Posher VA, you know, if the item is listed under $25, I only want to provide a $1.50 shipping discount. If it's between $25 and $100, then I want to provide a $2.46 shipping discount, which is kind of the going rate right now. And then if it's over $100, I want to provide free shipping or any type of variety like that. And so I think that's excellent. That's something that they've recently added and something that I think is so helpful. It's great, and it will help your Poshmark business run so much more efficiently, and you'll have an increase in sales. I've received dozens of DMs from y'all who have used Posher VA from my recommendation in my last video that this has been a complete game changer in your business, and that makes me so happy to hear. And because it automates it all for you, you're no longer sitting at a screen all day or staring at your phone all day just clicking buttons, which makes a massive impact, you know, not only on your business but also on your relationships and your mental health. And so I think it's just a really good investment and something that I stand strongly behind and would recommend to y'all. If you use my link down below or you use code MOGIBETH, you will get 2 weeks free, and you can get 20% off your first month or your first purchase if you choose to subscribe for a year. And I'll get a small kickback, so thank you to everyone who uses my link or uses my code. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we've used Posher VA, we've made a sale. Now it's time to ship that sale. And so the next items on this list are to do with shipping. So the first are USPS boxes and shipping supplies that are 100% free. If you don't know about that already, shipping supplies from the USPS are free, which is so great, and you can order them online and they'll be shipped directly to your house, or you can go to the post office and pick them up. And really there are 4 different mailers and boxes that we use time and time again. The first is a Tyvek mailer, and this is really good for clothing. The second is a shoe box, which we use on every single shoe that can fit into this box. And again, if you want to refer to my inventory video, I talk about that there. The second is a square box, which is really great for large boots or coats or, you know, big gowns and so forth. And then the last one that we use specifically on eBay and Tradesy is a padded flat rate mailer, which is great for items that weigh more than a pound but can fit in there. And if you're curious about how I ship on eBay, I've actually done a video on this that I'll link up on the screen. So while we use those free USPS packaging supplies, which I love, we also actually use EcoEnclose Mailers. And these are stretchable poly mailers that we actually purchase, and they are made from 100% recycled material. They are technically compostable and they're reusable because they have a second tearaway strip, which I really like. And the reason we use these is because they make our shipping processes a lot more efficient, because we don't have to think about which box we're going to use. We usually just use different sizes of these poly mailers. I really like them for that reason. I also really like them because as far as packaging goes, they have a really light carbon footprint because they're so much lighter than boxes are. So I will link down below all the different sizes that we use. They're definitely not necessary in your reselling business, but there's something that at this point in time, I don't think my business could run without. We just really love using EcoEnclose poly mailers. So the next item on this list is the other big ticket item, and that is my DYMO printer. And I love our DYMO printer. I've had it for years and it's been such a solid printer for me over that time. It makes shipping so much easier and more efficient when compared to printing out your label on a paper printer, and really those minutes add up. And I'm all about conserving time so you can spend it on important things in your life, like, you know, your relationships and your health and so forth. So I know there is some debate between a Rollo printer and a DYMO printer. I'll link them both down below in case you want to compare them. I don't have any experience with a Rollo printer because I purchased my DYMO and I've been happy with it. The only minor thing I sometimes infrequently run into is that sometimes the DYMO printer will freeze, in which case I just have to unplug it, wait a few seconds, and then plug it back in, and then that usually resolves the issue. But yes, I just wanted to mention that. But some people really are diehard Rollo fans, some people are diehard DYMO print fans. I've had good experiences with my DYMO printer, so if you want to upgrade, definitely look into getting a DYMO. Okay, so the next item on this list is actually what we use now in order to package up our clothing, and that is tissue paper. If you watch my old inventory video, which I'll actually link up on the screen in case you're interested, I used to use plastic poly bags for each and every piece of clothing, but it really weighed on my conscience how much single-use plastic we were using in our business. I was worried that not storing it in a plastic bag would expose it to the elements such as rain or smells, but really we haven't had any issues with that so far since we've switched over to tissue paper. So we use extra large tissue paper. Now I buy it in bulk, but I used to buy it from Amazon, and that option is great. I'll link that down below. But that extra large tissue paper allows us to wrap up clothing items of all different sizes, and we don't include thank you cards. I kind of think those are wasteful now. Maybe when you're first starting it makes sense, but I don't include thank you cards. I don't really include thank you stickers. The only thing we really do is we include a branded sticker, which isn't 100% necessary either, but I ordered those from Sticker Mule, and if you want to explore that option, I'll include a link down below from Sticker Mule and you'll get $10 off your first purchase. But I think it just adds a little bit of a personalized touch, a little bit of a branded touch. I don't really want to include much more than that. So next on the list is Kraft Paper. And the reason this is important is that whenever you are shipping out shoes and you're putting them in a box, you don't want to leave any empty room in there for them to be able to slide around, because that can really damage the shoe. When they're in transit, they can be tossed around and they can really hit the sides of that box hard. So really recommend stuffing whatever box you're shipping your shoes in with something. And if you don't ship out a ton of shoes, what I would recommend doing is just saving all the packaging materials that you'll receive from, you know, your online orders from Amazon or wherever you shop online, and just using that in your shoes. And we do that, but obviously we're operating at a scale now that we need more shipping supplies than that. So what we do is we buy Kraft paper and then we just crumple it up and stuff it in the box. and I buy big old rolls of Kraft Paper. I, again, buy them in bulk now, but I used to buy them on Amazon, so I'll link that down below. If you want to buy in bulk, if you're operating at scale, I'll link down below the place where I purchased from, but I think the shipping cost is a flat rate and it's really high, so it only makes sense if you're buying a lot of things. So basically once a year we'll just purchase a ton of our packaging supplies and just have it shipped to us, but that costs me like thousands of dollars, you know, up front, and obviously that isn't tenable for most people. So I recommend just buying Amazon, seeing if you like it, and then as you scale you can kind of get to that place. Okay, the next item on this list is a packaging tape dispenser gun, and this is one that's produced and made by Uline that I purchased from Amazon, and we could not live without this in our reselling business, especially when it comes to taping up boxes, which we use boxes again when it comes to all shoes, all in large dresses and coats and so forth. So it makes just using tape and taping up boxes a lot more efficient, and it makes it happen a lot faster. I have in the past purchased, I think I had my Uline tape dispenser, but then I was at Target and I saw another tape dispenser, I think by Scotch or something. I was like, oh, it would be really useful to have two of these in the office. So I went ahead and purchased that other one, and the difference between the two was just insane. The Scotch one was useless. Like it made taping basically harder. And so I would recommend, if you're gonna buy one, buy a good one. And this one at the time of filming cost $25, so it's more expensive than that one I found at Target, but not by much, and it's worth the investment. So if you don't have a packaging tape dispenser already and you want to upgrade to one, I would highly recommend this one. It's just perfect. It does the job and makes shipping a whole lot easier. Okay, so the very last item on this list is my handy dandy shipping scale, and this is really important if you want to sell on eBay or Tradesy, basically anywhere other than Poshmark. This shipping scale only costs 20 bucks, but it has all the bells and whistles that you're gonna need as a reseller. It obviously allows you to tare, which means it just sets to 0. It allows you to hold the weight, so if you have a big bulky item that blocks the screen, you can hold it and then see what it weighed after taking the item off. You can also use it with battery operated, or you can plug it into the wall, making it super versatile, and it basically just comes with everything that you'll need as a reseller, and for 20 bucks it's definitely worth the price. So I'd highly recommend this one. I've had it for a long time again, and I've never run into any issues with it. Okay, y'all, well that is it for the video. There are also other tools and equipment that we use in our reselling business, but these are the most essential ones that we could not live without. If you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below which items you have in your business that have made the biggest difference. I can of course make more of these in the future. There are lots of different accessories such as sweater shavers and so on that we use frequently in our business. But just let me know in the comments down below if you found this helpful. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Love y'all. Bye.